So it's time, I think, to ask you folks if you have requests, if you have any of these things. We've been doing this a long time, like 8 months, and before that too. So if you have any requests, just think about it a minute and unmute yourself, and we'll see what the mood of the group is. What would you like to focus on? And maybe I'll put it on speaker view for or gallery view for a minute here. There. So, any requests?
This is Todd. I always enjoy the ones where we have a really deep meditation, but I'm also good with anything.
Say again?
I enjoy the ones where we have a deep meditation.
Okay.
I'm going to check my audio setting here.
You sitting practice, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'll kind of second that in saying that when we get deep into the formless, I find that quite enjoyable.
Okay.
And I think that might be a variation of what Todd just said.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Taking requests here.
I'm going to say the same thing as those two guys.
Okay. And what does your cat think about that?
Oh, he really, really enjoys it a lot.
Okay.
I'll second all or third all of those requests, 2 or 4th, whatever it is.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anybody else? All right. Okay, well, just to sort of let's sort of reiterate and sort of just map out a little bit that one of the general strategies for moving into the the more expanded the formless meditation. We begin with bringing the attention into the body. And letting the mind calm down, and coming in with posture and really getting the eyes going with the internal seeing, and really moving our senses into the sense of touch a lot, and gazing down or having a soft gaze or eyes closed or something, so that we're really feeling the energy, the chi that's moving in the body. And then in moving the body, that tends to quiet the mind even more. And then we become sensitive to how the environment feels. And then we need to do some kind of releasing. Whether it's this or this, but something, and then going into a beautiful movement. It's usually flying crane or something that we can take with us into the sit. Okay, in other words, where we can use our breath and our eyes and our memory, our tactile memory, and actually do the movements in our mind when we're sitting. And then when we have the tactile quality of that very, very much present, then we begin this process of inquiry where we say, well, what is this? So it's not just, okay, I'm feeling all this, because that's an I and an it. So it's like, well, what is this? What's beneath this? What is this feeling made of, so to speak? You know, and we know it's kind of electrical impulses firing in the brain, and it's energetic. And when we use our intention in our mind to put an investigation into that, that's what leads us into the formless. Okay, so that's sort of the rough outline of one way to move in. So we'll do something like that tonight. Okay, thank you for your responses. All right, so to begin, we're going to focus on the out breath, which is also the down movement. So you can really feel your body lift up with the in-breath. You know, your chest expands, you kind of straighten up. And the out-breath, there's this, you know, this sort of sinking. And so that's why we want to elongate that out-breath in this posture. And it's strange to say, but instead of the eyes looking forward, they're looking in. We've flipped our vision 180 degrees. So we're looking inside. And then we can use the eyes, because our mind goes where our eyes look. So we can use the eyes to look inward. And as we go down, we move the eyes down the inside of the spine. And then that'll create a tactile sensation as well. So it's not just imagining this. It actually creates a feeling. And then you'll notice the feeling on the bottoms of the feet, the fingertips, the hands. Just really noticing sensation. And then with the out breath, we're also relaxing. We're softening. And you can coach yourself a little. You can say to yourself, so relax. And then check out your body and see if there's anything that's tense. Now there's going to be some tension because you're standing up, of course, but we need some energy and uprightness in order to stay alert. Okay, and then at some point, of course, you have the vertical axis, you're aware of that. At some point, you're going to extend, I kind of think of it as a dotted line. You sort of extend your attention down into the earth, and then up beyond the body and way up, so that the attention isn't just confined to the physical body. And of course, the eyes direct that. So all of this is happening just in standing one. And I think in order to accommodate the requests, we'll go into a Shen Gong that we've done before, a sitting spiritual practice. But the first half hour or so is all going to be, you know, just dropping into the body. Okay? So let's go ahead and bow to the directions. And this ritual is important too because it brings us into this space the physical space where we practice. And by repeating this every time, we learn that when we do this, we're going into this energetic space. Okay, so the north, the east, the south, and the west. Above, below. Okay, let's do Trembling Mountain just a little bit. Okay, let's all stop together. So 1, 2, 3. So this really enlivens the sense of touch. Okay, let's go into the backwash. And tree and spring. And so as we're going down, we're moving the gaze down the spine. And we're seeing each vertebrae open and feeling. And then coming back up, using the eyes to look right up the inside of the spine. Then the fingers point, and that increases the attention. So now we're following the fingers up. And then when the fingers at the top, when the fingers flip up, our attention shoots out and up into the cosmos, and then expands out, becomes very diffuse, expands out in all directions, encompassing all that is. Okay, And so we point to the earth, drop the attention all the way in. Now this is the microcosmic orbit, isn't it? So we're moving our attention right up the inside of the body, right into the brain, out the top of the skull, and then expressing it out, way up, infinitely, and then in all directions, left and right, but also front and back, up and down. So we finish, we're sort of standing in the center of this field. Smile a little bit. Smile is important. Okay, so one more. So you see the sequence. So first with the backwash, we're focusing internally. We're even directing our attention with the fingers internally. Now we're coming up inside the body. And then at this point, then we shoot out. And now our direction, our attention is in all around us. As if we can see in all directions, feel in all directions. And now the attention is outside. And then down again. In breath, drawing it up. Feeling it, feeling where the fingers are pointing up, and then it breaks out, up, infinitely, and then out, opening up the whole thing. So down and, okay, and then one more. Inside the body. And then at the top, then we break through into the clear night sky. And then the clarity goes all around. Relax the body. And then back. Okay, and then this next one is just an extension of that, really, isn't it? So now we're doing both at once. We're holding the outer and the inner. So whatever hand's on top, we turn that way, then we switch. So, I mean, the Buddha taught that there is really no separation. There really is no in the mind and outside the mind. And this is maybe a difficult concept to understand, but this movement is doing that. So we're taking heaven and earth, so the cosmos, the upper hand, the earth, the lower hand, or formlessness with the upper hand, form with the lower hand, the opposites, yin and yang, boundlessness and form. Form is not other than emptiness or boundlessness. It is not other than. And so this is I should call this the Heart Sutra dance, because it's taking form and emptiness and just switching them off. And in this movement, left to right, up and down, the left becomes right, the left becomes up, the right becomes down. It all switches, it all changes, and it's all just this dynamic coming and going very, very, very rapidly, much faster than we can do. The upper becomes the lower. That's what this is. So, okay, and now let's switch it so the palms are facing. And now this is the same thing internally. The mind becomes the body, and the body becomes the mind. Moment to moment. So there is left and right. I mean, there is up and down, there is body and mind. But because of this movement, it's dynamic, isn't it? It's not static. It's constantly switching, coming and going, coming and going. Okay, and then let's just reduce the movement a little bit. Okay, and now let's bring our attention to the hands and just sort of play with this. Now you can use the mind, you can imagine a connection between the hands, that helps. But the main thing is feeling this. There really is, scientifically, there's an energy field around the body. Heat, electromagnetism, even some light. And then this practice is feeling that, maintaining that connection, even though you're not touching. So this is bringing us into a more of an awareness of the energy itself, not just the hands. And this is a Heart Sutra again, no eye, nor ear, nor nose, nor tongue, nor body, nor mind. So if there's none of that, what's left? It's just this energy. Okay. Let's come back to the middle dantian. And we're going to continue with this. Is all Qigong is working with yin and yang. Let's do heaven and earth. So we're going to reach way up to the heavens. Notice where your eyes naturally go. Some people's will go naturally up, some will go down, some will just be neutral. And you can try different ones. So we're taking the heaven and earth, that's that vertical axis in the body, expanding out, bringing all this in. Now we're going to switch hands. So touching heaven, touching earth. Okay, let's do one more pair. Just a little bit of a stretch. Now we're going left and right, but this is going all in all directions. Okay, and then coming back. Okay. And now let's go into this next one, rainbow clouds. These are all familiar. So what we're going to do is we're just going to reach out. And the teaching is we're extending our hand beyond the edge of the universe to where there are rainbow clouds. And then we bring that back and fill the whole body and around the body. Okay, so beyond the edge of the universe, rainbow clouds, bringing it back, filling the whole body. With your breath. So really feel this. A rainbow is because it's vibrating at different rates. Filling the body. Okay, one more on each side. Okay, now this is creating a field within the body and permeating the body and out in all directions. So the physical body is very present, you can feel it, and that tingling, that energy is internal and external. It's outside too. Okay. And now let's just go into whatever your version is of flying crane. Because the body is very present and it's very light. These flying Qigongs, they're moving through this cloud. The energy is sort of like this cloud. So the movements are slow. And maybe you can sense not just the physical body moving, but as if it's sort of enclosed in this field, in all directions. And do this, of course, with the breath. Harmonize the movements with the breathing. And there may be a little more focus on the middle finger. That is the ring finger or the index. You may feel that. You may sense some heat, tingling. Move with the breath. You may sense the heartbeat. In breath is up, out breath is down, and in between you're just breathing normally. You can smile a little bit at the top. Okay, let's reduce these movements. Yeah, the body's very light and very relaxed. If you're looking at this, you have a soft view, a downward gaze. Check that the body's relaxed. Sometimes in the movements it'll tense up a little. So. Okay, let's go ahead and bring up our stool or chair. So we're going to move into a Qigong, the 5 elements Qigong. And you can now, if you like, you can use the recent memory, the memory of the recent movement of the flying crane, and visualize that with the breath. Or any of the other movements. You can sit with your hands together or apart. You'll be moving your eyes with the memory. So the arms go up, the eyes go up. And with the next in-breath, we're going to breathe in through the perineum and into the lower dantian, into the belly, the abdomen. And let the belly expand and feel and imagine sort of a space in the lower dantian. You can sort of look down and there's this open space or this light or warmth. And the space that pulsates with the breath. So in breath, it expands. Out breath, it softens. Becomes brighter with the in breath and more diffuse with the out breath. And there's a feeling quality to this too in the body. Okay, and the Qigong. So the first element we're going to bring in, we're going to imagine that there is wood, pieces of wood arranged as to build a fire in the belly. In that space. And now let's focus the mind on the heat in the body, the warmth of the body. And with the next in-breath, we'll magnify that and create a flame to light the wood on fire. The out-breath, the flame goes up. So there's a fire burning in the belly, in the space. Okay, and next, the next in breath, we're going to imagine a metal cauldron that's supported or suspended over the fire. It's big. And then with the next out breath, we're going to bring down water, fill it up with water. Okay. And then the breath acts like a bellows and causes the fire to get very hot and to begin to heat the water. Okay, and then the water is getting hotter to the point where it's starting to boil. This is right in the center of the body. It's not in the mind, it's right in the center of the body. And as it boils, it starts producing prodigious amounts of steam. And the steam moves right up the central space of the body. This is a different dimension from the organs and all that. This is the chi is taking this form in the body. And the steam is moving up rapidly through and up and into the brain and out the top of the head and surrounding the whole body. The breath is driving the heat. The heat is driving the steam, and the steam is filling the body and permeating it and going out in all directions and surrounding the sitting body with this steam. And now, just by moving the eyes up, we're going to go up into the mind, and it's all steam. It's white and it's luminous and it's moving, constantly impermanent. And it extends way up extends in all directions. And by moving the eyes, you can move the attention. And at some point, it just becomes boundless. Okay, and let go of the visual images. So all of this steam is its formlessness. It's the stuff out of which form appears. So let's just do an experiment. So we're all this steam. Okay, suddenly let's think of an apple. Imagine an apple. There it is. See it clearly. Okay, and then let it disappear. So that apple, that object of mind, appeared out of this steam. The steam can appear as any form. And if we're very, very still and very quiet, no form will appear. Maybe a little smile is all. The body is here, the breath is coming and going. Those are just physical sensations. The mind is just this steam. If we don't disturb it, no form will appear. Okay, there is an awareness of this steam. Okay, now let's back up even more beyond this. And the steam reaches a point where it sort of dissipates and it just becomes darkness. And this is luminous darkness. There's nothing to see. And there's nobody looking. The breath comes and goes. Now, in this vast space, this is where we can bring in our intelligence and investigation. It's all still here. If there's something we need clarity on, there's a question. If there's some emotional baggage, there's some blockage, anything that we bring into this space will be pretty diffuse. And we can be with it. And we can use our inner narrator to ask questions or to listen quietly and see what presents. So this is the space of big mind. And thoughts don't come here. You don't think about things. But with our intention, we can invite in or be present to whatever appears. There'll be some awareness of the body and of the breath. That's fine. And you can use your curiosity. Well, what's beyond this? Or what is this made of? If you like. Or you can just be very still. If any tension appears in the body, just relax it. If nothing is up for you, you can remember the flying crane in this space. It'll probably be different. The body's upright. And there's no up or down or left or right. Okay, and the next one, if you want to move out again, and the name of this is just no thing. This is the awareness of no thing. Okay, and you can, if you like, you can move back into that space of the steam. Probably move your eyes a little. So that's there. This is called a state of concentration. And you can remain here as long as you're still. And you can feel the breath coming and going in the sitting body. Notice the quality of the breath. Okay. And if you want to, with the next out breath, so you can drop down, use the eyes, drop down back inside the body. Just the physical sitting body. Be sure it's all relaxed. And you can go up into the steam again if you want to. You're free to choose. Okay. So we're getting ready to come back. So I'm going to move the eyes up. And so bring down that dark area, luminous dark, and melts into the steam, the luminous steam. Out breath, come down into this alive body. The sensations in the body are a tactile rendering of the steam and the blackness. Okay, let's take a few more breaths. Feel the body expanding, contracting, rising, falling. Notice the heart. Notice the sensations in the body. And maybe then begin to move the fingertips a little, just kind of slowly come back into fully into your senses, into moving a little bit. So can you still sense the space around you? Nothing has really changed. It's just where our attention is. That's all. Okay. Okay, so if you're ready, we'll go into our little closing. Maybe before we do, just sort of notice how you feel. Kind of do a little inventory. Is it all here? The body, the tingling, the senses, the space, the steam, the dark. Yep, it's all here. Hasn't gone anywhere. Okay, good. So here we are. All right, so on the count of 3, let's clap our hands one time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Make heat and massage the eye sockets. And comb back the hair. And tug on the ears a little bit. Okay, and tap the kidneys. And massage the kidneys. Okay. And I will now stop the recording so that we can have some privacy.